Hello and welcome to Prudent News. First a look at the headlines. Tough task ahead for government in upcoming fiscal with rising deficits, falling revenues. Budget indicates undisclosed deficit of 856 crores. Commercial tax far behind targets. Watch Budget Panchnama. Former Karnataka Lokayukta Justice Hegde hits out at government for mining packages, says people in illegal mining cannot be considered dependents by law. Goa mining hearing in April under new bench of Justice R.M. Lodha. Chief Justice heading Green Bench. Aftab Alam to retire in mid-April, Lodha to take over. Hill cutting on BJP leader Govind Parvatkar's plot at Kundai Industrial Estate irks locals. Kriti Samiti threatens to approach court if work not stopped. Parvatkar refutes charges. UTA leader recalls Bali carnage, expresses displeasure over delay in justice for deceased Mangesh Gaonkar and Dilip Velip. Says it was murder, community not happy with Tawardkar's performance. Watch Counterpoint. Now the news in detail. With the enforcement of new schemes and flagship programs post-mining crisis in Goa, the revenue deficit is expected to touch 203 crore mark and a fiscal deficit of 1,365 crores next fiscal. Apart from these deficits, there is an undisclosed budget deficit of 856 crores linked with the overall deficit. With almost 15 to 20% shortfall in the commercial tax target, it would be again a tough year for Parrikar-led government to take its budget through as proposed. Watch Budget Panchnama, the first report.
Following launching of new social schemes and the rise in the other planned expenditure through flagship programs, revenue deficits of the state is crossing prescribed limits. Government expects the deficit to touch 375 crore mark this year, which was initially estimated to be 83 crore in the annual budget 2012-2013. This will have a ripple effect on the deficit in the upcoming fiscal with the estimate of 203 crores for the year 2013-2014. That's not all. There would be a negative balance of 350 crores by the end of current fiscal, and these expenses would be carried forward for the next fiscal. The last year had a negative balance of 1,356 crores, a carry forward financial burden from the predecessor government. Incumbent government will push its payment and expenditure worth 350 crores in the next fiscal, leading to an outlay from revenue earned in the next year. Government has estimated a fiscal deficit of 1,365 crores in the next fiscal. This means an additional burden of loan worth 1,365 crores to execute a proposed budget in the upcoming fiscal. Apart from this is a budget deficit of 856 crores unreflected in the fiscal deficit. This deficit figures as a part of overall deficit. Avoiding inclusion of this budget deficit worth 856 crores in the fiscal deficit means cutting short annual budget by equivalent amount, which is almost 8.56%. Considering RBI methodology, gross fiscal deficit in the proposed budget would touch 2,221 crores. Government has estimated a revenue deficit of 203 crores for upcoming fiscal. Considering revenue deficit to fiscal deficit ratio, government will use 15% of the loaning from fiscal deficit to execute its revenue expenditure schemes and running administration. 15 rupees from every 100 rupees of fiscal deficit will be utilized for running state revenue plans. Situation indicates that the revenue deficit may cross the estimated figure in the upcoming fiscal. The new schemes initiated by the government in the second half of current fiscal will be in force from the first day of next fiscal. The government has already trimmed budgets for its flagship programs. This might increase the number of beneficiaries and annual outlay. The Anand Social Security Scheme with 1,17,000 beneficiaries cost annual outlay of 280 crores. The proposed budget has a provision of only 215 crores including tribal subplan for DSS. The state registers almost 10,000 marriages annually, which can take outlay to a maximum of 100 crores. The Ladli Lakshmi has a provision of 86 crores. Monthly Griha Aadhar of 1,000 rupees for 1 lakh housewives would lead to annual outlay of 100 crores. Scheme has a provision of 69 crores. Provision on proposed minimum employment assurance scheme has been reduced to 15 crores from last year's provision of 30 crores. Schemes of laptops for standard 11 students has a provision of 35 crores this time compared to 55 crores last year. There is no change in the provision of 40 crores for the scheme of tablets for standard 5th and standard 6th students. Budgetary provision on the Kamdhenu scheme has been enhanced from 10 crores to 17 crores. The Swarna Jayanti health insurance scheme initiated by predecessor government cost Parrikar-led government 7 crore 25 lakhs in the current year. The scheme with 1,87,000 beneficiaries has been suspended, while the proposed alternate scheme has just a token annual provision of 50 lakhs. With a shortfall of mining royalty revenue worth 1,000 crores and overall slowdown of economy, the target of 2,675 crores worth commercial tax collection seems difficult to achieve. It will be a real tough job for the government to enforce this budget as proposed. Watch the next part of Budget Panchnama. Bureau Report Prudent.
Former judge of the Supreme Court and former Lokayukta of Karnataka, Justice Santosh Hegde has hit out at Goa government's decision to compensate mining dependents. Hegde says the people were involved in illegal mining, hence there should not be so much hue and cry about their livelihood. Sometimes unlawful activity may look like livelihood, but it is against the law and cannot be treated like livelihood in the legal sense. Hegde questioned the government whether the state would compensate the underworld if Dawood's business closes down.
This has been put to me by various sources, many people who borrowed money from the bank and brought trucks thinking that there will be enough work to transportation and other things are now deprived of their vacation, and some mining workers also. Look, people who are indulging in illegal professions, they cannot claim protection there. You can't ask illegality to be perpetuated because some people are otherwise going to be hungry. Frankly speaking, if Dawood Ibrahim is arrested, many people in this country will be jobless. For people who have been indulging in illegal activities which amounts to crime, because the very basis of future such activities is taken away, you should be compensated for that. Unlawful activity is not a livelihood in that sense. It may be a livelihood in reality, but against law. Winston Churchill once said, you want to kill an idea, you appoint a commission. Here is a commission which makes a recommendation. Then you make another commission to find out the recommendations should be accepted or not. That commission's recommendation will be referred to another commission which will look into that and all. What is the general idea? You don't want to implement. Though if that recommendations are implemented and if somebody claims that he has been victimized because of the recommendation, let him go to court.
With video journalist Chetan Gauss, reporter Mukesh Kumar for Prudent. It's almost certain that the Goa mining matter will be heard by a bench headed by Justice R.M. Lodha. Hearing on Goa mining matters is possible only after April. As of now, Chief Justice Aftab Alam is heading the bench and he is due for retirement on 18th April. Justice Lodha is likely to be appointed as the next Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Highly reliable sources inform that Justice R.M. Lodha is likely to be appointed as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. 18 April is the last day for Chief Justice Aftab Alam in office. Green bench will be reconstituted after 18th April. New bench will hear the Goa mining matter. Hearing related to Orissa and Karnataka mining is completed. However, judgment on both these matters will be pronounced by the Chief Justice before his exit. Justice R.M. Lodha has been on Goa bench of Bombay High Court several times. He has delivered judgments on issues related to mining and environment in Goa. Due to ongoing hearing on Karnataka mining matter, Goa mining matter could not be heard by the Supreme Court. Matter is listed after Orissa and Karnataka. Supreme Court had ordered interim ban on Goa mining and mining related activities since October. Mahesh Ghadi with Mukesh Kumar for Prudent.
It's time for a short break. Stay tuned.